What's up, guys? Molly Reaver here with another Raid Shadow Legends video, and today we are back on the free-to-play account. It is finally the day. We've been working on it since day one of starting the account. What am I talking about? It is time for the final missions of Arbiter. We are nearly there. You can see we've got 6 missions left. We are going to complete those in this video. It is just after reset on day 41, which is about day 40 of the actual account, since we started it just before reset originally. However, we are going to end up getting Arbiter towards the end of day 41 because of Clan Boss mainly. So 41 days for Arbiter I think is pretty darn good. It is my personal best. I know it's not the actual record. However, I'm pretty sure with factoring in that I can't use any legendaries other than fusions or login champions, all that sort of stuff, which I have one legendary. I think 41 days is pretty darn good. So in this one, we are going to go over all of my champions. I did some rebuilds and things like that, so we're going to look at how they are built currently, and then we are going to clear all of these missions and collect our Arbiter. So we're starting at just after reset today, and then we will cut for the final clan boss mission till tomorrow so that I can use some actual keys and not just waste all of my gems. Which, I mean, I would do, but that's a lot of gems. So first thing we are going to do is, I guess, look at champions. So as I said, I did some re-gear. As part of the Arbiter missions, I actually needed to make 8 6-star champions, which we did in the last video. We did Siege Hulk and Basilisk. They are not going to be part of this. We're not using them at all. So we will start first with Rathalos. I re-geared him in my best lifesteal set. We've got him at 193 speed, fully crit capped, 120 crit damage, obviously not a ton, 3.8k attack, 36k HP, 1.8k defense. I did put some accuracy on him. He's got 166 accuracy, which will get him that brimstone pretty easily. One of the things that obviously we skipped was the fact that the last mission I passed was the level 10 area bonus or affinity bonus, which we did get in force accuracy, so that actually does help Rathalos with the brimstone. Also helps my Geomancer. And then we're going to work on accuracy for the other affinities as well, because everybody can use accuracy. But back to Rathalos. We've got that 166 accuracy, so 80 of it is coming from our affinity bonus, and that is pretty darn helpful. He is booked up as much as I need him to do. Obviously, we don't need the extra book on the A1, so we saved a little bit there. He does have that Brimstone Mastery that I talked about, and he is down to War Master, of course, and then just the support tree, or I'm sorry, the defense tree for some counterattack and a little bit of extra defense. So that is Rathalos. Next up, Geo. I did actually just re-gear Geo in a regen set. The one thing because I don't have a healer on the account at all, really, or a reviver, Geo, because he didn't have any built-in heal mechanics, so he doesn't have lifesteal, he doesn't have continuous heals like Miscreated Monster does, things like that, he would just slowly die. And once he was dead, obviously no use. So the only thing I could really get him into now is obviously a regen set. So he actually stays alive much better now. He does a heck of a lot better now. So I'm happy with the build we've got in him now. I also have a Blood Shield accessory on him, which is super helpful. He actually just helped me clear stage 20 of the new Doom Tower, which is the Scarab King. He basically soloed it himself. We're going to have to work on that for the future iterations, but he did good on the first step. So we've got 37k HP, a little bit of attack, 2.5k defense. 184 speed, we're not worried about damage, and then enough accuracy for him to land his debuffs, which is where his damage comes from. He is, of course, fully booked. Just like Rathalos, we saved a book in his A1 because we don't really care about that. I've got him on emergency heal. Again, this was just to try to get some healing into his kit. With the Blood Shield accessory, it gives him a little bit of healing there. However, that was before the regen set, and the regen set definitely helps a lot more. But all the healing we can get is helpful. As far as masteries go, you can see we went down to War Master. I got him enough masteries because we don't necessarily care about the tier 5 masteries. We just wanted that tier 6. It was also part of the missions we needed to get, I believe, 5 champions to tier 6 masteries. So I actually did have to farm those as part of the Arbiter missions as well. But we got Cycle of Magic, try to get back to the A3 a little bit. Lore of Steel for as much accuracy and stat boost as we can get with the gear that's on him. And that is about it for Geo. For Miscreated Monster, I also was able to re-gear him. We finally got a decent enough shield set. It's still not perfect. We got a 4-star HP chest, 4-star speed boots, so obviously a lot of improvement can be done here. However, the shield set in itself super helpful, especially with the waves that we're going to see going through all the dungeons and things like that. So he's nearly 60k HP, 2k defense, 180 speed. Not worried about crit capped or damage. However, we would like that just so he gets slightly bigger shields. And then 160 accuracy to try to get through or get the stuns to land typically on the waves that we're going for. They don't need a lot of accuracy, or they don't have a lot of resistance, I should say. So we need far less accuracy for waves than we do talking about bosses. And obviously we can't stun a boss, so we're not worried about that. He is fully booked. Saved a couple books on the A1 per norm. He now has our cruelty blessing, so he is reducing the defense. And then same thing, we skipped a couple of the tier 5s to get him down to War Master as well. Next up we got Deacon. I actually had to steal some gear from Deacon for the other builds, so he is slightly less of a build than what we had before. You can see we still got some room to level up some gear, but silver is always an issue. So we've got 47k HP, 1.6k attack, 1.7k defense, 234 speeds, pretty quick, and then 200 accuracy. He is fully booked, took every single book we needed for him. And then, of course, he is down to War Master as well. I actually was waiting to put Evil Eye on him because I was working on the Griffin for last rotation of Doom Tower. I actually ended up beating the Griffin 90, which was the hardest boss of that rotation. But I did it one day too late, so I ended up making it to floor 119 before it reset. I was one day short, one key short of being able to clear the second rotation of Doom Tower on our first try. But next time we'll do it. It's all right. Then we've got Kale. We did keep him in lifesteal. He is now just in the second best set of lifesteal that we can get him. He still is my campaign farmer, so he still does that pretty well. 25k HP, 2.4k attack, 1.5k defense, 182 speed, crit capped with a little bit of crit damage, and then 200 accuracy, enough for him to land his debuffs where we need it. Actually, fully booked. We've got him on Phantom Touch. And then Masteries, of course. We've got him down to War Master. Spirit Haste for campaign farming, things like that. Pretty standard set of Masteries for him. And then next up, we've got Coldheart. Coldheart is finally getting some use now that she's 6-star fully ascended. We can get a banner on her, get her some survivability because she does die pretty easily. The shield set for Miscreated Monster helps a lot for that as well. Obviously, we still want her to get her in like a Savage set, things like that, but we're 40 days in on the account, so it is what it is so far. For her, we've got 30k HP, 2.9k attack, 1.6k defense, 191 speed, crit capped enough for a 393% crit damage, which is pretty solid, and then 212 accuracy. She does have a blood shield accessory as well, pretty solid one. This one I actually had to roll. I used a piece of chaos ore on it because it was actually the only banner that I had for Dark Elves, other than the one that was on Kale. And I think it was defense or HP, and I rolled it and it landed on crit damage with double attack. So I will absolutely take that. It's pretty solid amulet right there. And then we've got an attack banner with a little bit of speed and a couple HP rolls, which is pretty nice. But Coldheart, obviously, she's very squishy, so you definitely want to get HP chest if you can. I need the accuracy, so getting the HP rolls and things like that, super helpful there. She is fully booked as well. We don't have many masteries on her yet. We did just try to get the crit rate and the crit damage, as well as a little bit of accuracy, so she will be one of the next ones that I work on for masteries, but that's all we've got so far for her. Then as far as the other stragglers that we're going to use, we've got Renegade, pretty much in just whatever I could get her in order to get her quick enough with enough accuracy. So 30k HP, little bit of attack and defense, 173 speed with 200 accuracy is what we're looking at. She is fully booked as well. I do have a blessing on her. I obviously just haven't picked anything out yet. It's probably going to end up being Phantom Touch regardless. And then we don't really have any masteries for her yet either. Then just the other day, I was able to pull an Apothecary. It was during the 2x Ancient Shards. I had, I think, 6 Ancients, and I pulled 6 Rares, one of them being Apothecary, which, I mean, he's a legendary in a rare skin, so I was absolutely happy with that. We've got him just in a bunch of speed gear. Blood Shield accessory that may or may not come in handy. 24k HP, 1.3k attack, 1.3k defense, 234 speed is about as fast as I can make him at the moment. And the rest of it we don't really care about. We just want him to go fast and we want him to heal our champion. He, again, is missing a book in his A1. However, we don't really care about that. We needed the A2 and the A3 fully booked. We are waiting to choose a blessing on him as well, and no masteries. I think those are all of the champions we are going to use in this video. We've got some other ones that are just kind of some random gear thrown on them, things like that, that we've been starting to build for faction wars. And what have you. We've been pushing a little bit there now that I don't need to focus on champ training missions for Arbiter. So we don't need the, ascend a champion to level 6. We don't need to get another 6-star. We don't need any of that stuff. So we can begin to expand our champion pool in order to push faction wars a little bit. And in which case we are up to 190. Stars so far, which I don't even have anything for skinwalkers right now. We did just get a fleshmonger, so we can throw some gear on him, maybe get a couple stars out of there tomorrow. Dark Elves, we're still working, but we put a little bit of dent in it, but that is going to be the next focus after this video, because right now we are still just fixated on getting our Arbiter. So first thing is first, if you're unfamiliar with the list of Arbiter missions that we just had to do, after there was a win 200 arena battles in a row, followed by the level 10 affinity bonus, which 200 battles in gold 4, gold 5 will get you 800 medals. So you only need an extra 200 in order to finally get the level 10 affinity bonus, which we obviously did that. And then you have to get top chest Nightmare. It says 39, it's actually 39.16, which we did that, and then we had to beat stage 17 of all of the dungeons. Then we have to get 75 million on Nightmare or above, which is what we are doing right now. And then stage 20 of all of the dungeons, and then 100 million on Nightmare or above. So we've already put 7 keys into Nightmare today. This is the team, of course, that we are using. And this is going to be the final one for the 75 million damage mission. As far as presets, you can see we've got Deacon, Kale, Miscreated Monster, Rathalos, and Geo as our team. Deacon, we're just forcing his AI defaults anyway, so we're forcing the A3 into the A2. Kale, he's just going to do whatever he wants. Miscreated Monster, still just the same AI, forces A3 into his A2. For Rathalos, we are single target, and as more times we can do this A2 as we can is good. So we're just forcing him to do that over the A3. And then Geo, of course, we are just forcing the A3, which is where all of his damage is coming from. So that is the presets. This is going to be, like I said, the last one for the 75 mission. So I'm going to get out of the way. We're going to run this so you can watch it. And then we will collect the mission and we'll move on to the next one. So we are Magic Affinity this time. So far I've been doing between 18 to 19 million per key. We'll see what we get for this one, but enjoy. All right, so pretty much where I expected it to be. 18.73 mil, pretty solid for Nightmare. Easy 3 key as far as a normal day. We got Rathalos doing a ton of work right now on this one, being because he's positive affinity. And then we got Geo putting up 6.5 as well. It's actually pretty much stable throughout any of the affinities that we get. Between that 16 to 19 mil. I've hit as high as about 20.5, which is pretty solid. So now that we're going to finish Arbiter, we can get a bit better gear, in which case this will be an easy 2-key Nightmare soon. And then once we build an actual tune, we can try to get it to Ultra Nightmare. That will probably be a little bit further down the road anyway. But that is what we need. So for one day, 148 million out of 8 keys in order to do the Arbiter missions that we need. That gets us our 75 million 6-piece set of Immortal gear. Hopefully there's something good in there. Next up, we have Ice Golem. Now, Ice Golem 20 is actually going to be one of the harder of the dungeons. My team is certainly not going to be 100%. I'll be happy if it is 50%, to be honest. I was tweaking it a bit as I was trying to just conserve some energy for today to save it up for reset. This is what we've come up with. We've got Deacon in the lead, obviously Geo, Kale, Miscreated Monster, and then Apothecary. The boss is Spirit Affinity, so as much magic as we can bring in this, the better. However, we still need our speed lead and decreased defense, as well as Geo is the boss killer, so he's going to do what Geo does. As far as presets, Deacon's got nothing. Geo's got nothing. Does anybody have anything? I actually turned this off trying it a different way. We're going to turn this back on. And Apothecary's got nothing. So we are literally, there's no point in the preset at the moment. So we will give this a shot. We have to beat it 10 times. Luckily, and it's 10 times on auto. It's not like I can manual it either. So we've just got to try it. We'll see how it goes. Rathalos hits too hard, so every time I brought him in, we would just wipe, because at one point or another, he would trigger the boss's retribution while the ads were still up, and then we would just get fully wiped. I ran it with this, and it worked perfectly fine. They were pretty stable, so hopefully we do well. But let's let it go. We'll do it once here, live with me, and then, assuming all goes well, I will just finish the rest off camera, and we will visit back at the final victory screen. So normally through the dungeons, if you are planning a team, it's the waves that are going to slow you down the most. They're also going to be your worst chance as far as somebody dying. With Miscreated Monster here, and the fact that it is a spirit stage, we are pretty well squared up. We're not going to die, I don't think, throughout here. It's not the waves that are going to be the danger. However, they're just going to take a while to get through. You can see 45 seconds to get through that one, and then probably another 45, 50 seconds to get through wave 2. But everybody should be healthy and happy, and it's just a matter of whittling them down. The more stuns we get at a Miscreated Monster, the better and faster we will get through this. But we're not really worried. You can see Apothecary right there almost taking a dive. However, a good thing about it is he's a healer. We get some shields from Miscreated Monster. Everybody's looking a little worse for wear, but they'll pick it back up. That's because of that reflect damage. So, and just about a little less than a minute and a half, and we are through. So now it is a matter of, can we get through this without getting a retribution attack that just completely wipes us? So the AI is going to target the ads for the most part, because you need to knock down the ads so that whenever that retribution hit does come, the boss does not ignore as much defense as he normally would. And then if we can skip the retribution milestones via the HP burn and things like that, that way we don't get hit, even better. You can see Apothecary is down there. Ew. This looks like it's going to be a wipe, unless Miscreated Monster can pull it out on his own, which I don't know that that's going to happen, considering we've got heal reduction. Alright, well, that's a wipe. Let's try it one more time. Again, I'm going to be happy if this is a 50% win rate. I should probably turn off, well, Apothecary died first, so I don't know that it was the ally protection that mattered, because I did turn that off. But we only need to beat it 10 times. That's all we're worried about. I'm not trying to farm Ice Golem. We're just trying to get past this one. And then we can worry about a farming team down the road. I mean, really, 16 is quite easy. 17 was the last mission, and I cleared that one 10 out of 10. But really, once we get Arbiter, then I'll have a revive. I don't really have a good revive. My only revive on the account that I put any sort of effort into is Kinigashi, who is a weird kind of revive. Oh, there goes Apothecary. We'll see how this goes. If it wasn't clear the dungeon on auto, way easier. However, we have to clear it on auto. Now, I can target and things like that, but they already target the ads, so we don't need to worry about that. It's just a matter of the boss's retribution attacks. We needed him to take a lot of turns, but then Geo with the full turn meter depletion. Big ol' whack right there. There's one ad down. That heal reduction from this left ad is probably the most annoying debuff that we can get out of here. Because there goes Kale, there goes everybody. Geo, just keep him alive. Just stay alive, buddy. No, don't put it on him. Put it on the boss. Here. This is where the regen set hopefully will come in clutch. Staying alive. Oh, we made it. Fastest time, too. Look at that. More turns, but fastest speed. So there's one. I got to do that 9 more times. It may take, 18 more fights, but hopefully we will get this done quick. So I will see you guys in a little bit. Hopefully, well, definitely with a victory screen. So BRB. So there we go. Finally, it was literally about 50%. I think maybe 60%. I had to do, for 10 battles, I probably had to do 16 or 17 fights. But I think that gets us there. There it is, 150 gems in the bag. On to Dragon. I guess we should go. I was tweaking it a bit as we went along. I ended up removing basically any direct damage or heavy hitting AoE skill out, which I guess is just Kale's. Alright, I turned off Kale's A2. That was the AoE to try to avoid any major direct damage to the boss. That way we can try to avoid getting those hits. Because it ended up being the multiple revenge procs, the retribution procs that would kill us. We could take the first one. The second one, if it came immediately after that, would pretty much kill us. So that's what it ended up being. It's still not a farming team by any stretch. However, it got the 10 done that we needed. And Dragon is far easier. So let's go over our team for Dragon. There's actually, I don't think, any team at all. We are just using Deacon, Geo, Rathalos, Miscreated Monster, and Cold Heart in order to speed things up. I'm actually not even sure if this was successful or not. I haven't optimized this one at all. Dragon, I actually hit 20 with the very first time. Or I was the very first one to hit Dragon 20, I guess is a better way to say it. At least as far as the content creators. And it's just literally the guys, or the champs as they're built, thrown in, do what they can do. Dragon is the easiest of the dungeons, for sure. Now there are several of the content creators at stage 20. You can see we just kind of roll through wave 1 there. Wave 2, the Hordens, these guys, they can hit pretty darn hard if they're not controlled. But we don't necessarily need everybody around. Rathalos can actually solo the boss for the most part. So as long as he survives, we're fine. It's just a matter of it's faster if, everybody else comes along with him. So, minute 20 seconds, we're already 1/5 of the way through the boss. Pretty easy Dragon is. So, not a whole lot of worry here. Cold Heart makes it nice and fast. Or at least with the big AoE, or the HP, max HP smacks. Minute 44, fastest we've done it so far. Garbage pair of gloves. So 9 more times. I gotta refill a little bit of energy for that. We'll do that, and we'll see you back in a couple minutes. Alright, so 10 stages of Dragon 20 down. Next up is Fire Knight. Fire Knight's going to be a little similar to Ice Golem so far. It is not 100%. This time it is because of the waves, not because of the boss. The boss we can handle pretty easily. However, the waves if, you know, we can't die. That's pretty much the gist here. So as far as our presets go, we're going with Deacon, Rathalos, Coldheart, Geo, and Miscreated Monster. For the earlier stages, I was using Renegade for her decreased speed and the reset, which was pretty nice. However, between trying to kill the waves and get enough hits on the boss shield, it seems to work out with Coldheart over Renegade instead of Coldheart over Rathalos. Because, I mean, Rathalos is my wave killer, so that's, you know, we need him. So as far as presets here, Deacon, we're going to use the A3 only once and then turn it off. Same thing on wave 2. And then on wave 3, we're going to open with the A1. Main reason why we're doing this is, one, it is a 2-hitter to start in order to try to open the shield. However, it's also to delay his A3 one turn because the decreased turn meter doesn't work while the boss's shield is up. So we'll be able to drop the shield before we get back around to his second turn, in which case then we'll be able to decrease his turn meter and make sure everybody else gets their second turn. Because that's actually pretty key with clearing the stage, really. Rathalos can do whatever he wants. Painkeeper, we are just saving the Heartseeker on the wave 2. That way it is ready on wave 3. And then on wave 2, we're just turning off the A2. It is important with Coldheart not to force the A3 preset, because she is actually the only champion still in the game that is specifically designed to only A1 during or while the boss's shield is up. That was an update they did a couple of years ago. It's the only one they did for this case. I don't know why, but she will by default only A1 into the boss's shield while the shield is up. So if you force the AI, then she will follow the AI. But if you do not, and you should not, she will by default do the AI. So don't bother setting anything else up other than turning off the A2. For Geo, we are just not using his A3 throughout the waves, and then we want to open with his A1 for that hit on the shield, and then by the time he gets around to his second turn, he can do his A3, which mainly we want is the full turn meter reduction. Obviously, we don't want to get hit by the boss, so the damage that he's going to do off of that is moot, because we don't want the boss to take a turn. Simple as that. Miscreated Monster doing anything through the waves, and then just opening with his 2-hitter A1 to try to drop that shield. So that is our preset. Again, it is about getting through the waves. If we can get through the waves, we will be fine. If not, we will die. It is force affinity, so our magic affinity champions are weak. So that is why we're not bringing KO with his 3-hitter. You can see Coldheart is about to die because she got, what was that, Valerie? She got a turn, and looks like we may make it unless she kills us. Nope, Rathalos with the save. On to wave 2. It's a matter of just not dying. That's all we really care about. That shield set on Miscreated Monster really helping here, because they can take one turn. If they take one turn, then we're fine, and then we're pretty good on controlling and or killing them by the second turn. And then on to the boss. Boss has 10 hits on the shield. We get straight up 2. 1 from Rathalos, 4 from Coldheart, Geo, and Miscreated Monster. And then we get our turn meter reduction that ensures that everybody else is going to get a turn. Coldheart goes, and if we could really somehow delay Coldheart's Heartseeker versus Geo's A3, then that would help a lot more. But it is what it is. But he gets Geo cycles back around to it pretty well. So this one's a pretty smooth run, it looks like. There it is. Fastest time again. I think we've gotten fastest time on every single run so far, or every single dungeon, which is pretty solid. I actually could use a good new shield. That one's not so much of what we're looking for. But now we got 9 more runs of Fire Knight, and we will be back after that. So see you in a bit. That one actually wasn't so bad. So it was more like 80%, I would say. I did some tweaking throughout as we were running it. You can see we got our 10 battles in. Where we ended mainly was on the boss wave. Again, still Deacon with opening A1. Cold Heart, no change here. Geo, we mainly did a change because Cold Heart and Geo were both doing their full turn meter depletion at the same time. So Cold Heart would go with her A3 Heartseeker, and then Geo would do his A3, which means the boss just got to turn really quick because they both went at the same time. So because both of these are on a 3-turn cooldown, it doesn't matter which one you prioritize. So basically, if you delay or want to delay the A3, you just make the A2 first. So that's all we did. So we opened A1, which would be into the shield. And then the next hit, he would do his A2, which Cold Heart would go first. And she would do her Heartseeker with the full turn meter depletion. And then the boss would be allowed to get some turn meter back before Geo would then do his A3 in order to deplete it back again. So that seemed to work out the most, or the best. He would still end up getting a turn, but by that point he was down to about 10th of his life, or 20% HP or so, in which case it was not hard in order to finish him off. So we ended up getting all 10 wins in roughly, I think we failed twice. Also, one thing I was testing, which I wasn't sure about testing, because I want to be conservative with my energy, is for these, if you do the super raids. So obviously super raids before, you would get double accessories, like filling it twice, but if you would run it for CVC, you would only get a point because you only ran it once. So I wasn't sure if using the super raids would count towards the, clear a dungeon 10 times. And in fact, now it does. So I ended up running it only like 6 or 7 times in order to get the 10 clears, because we started out as a single, and then once I doubled it up, it actually worked. So cool thing with the update for permanent super raids is it does actually count as 2 runs, and that does filter down to the missions as well. So we will absolutely be doing that for Spider right now, because that is where we are at. Spider 20 10 times. And for that, our team is pretty much the usual suspects. We got Deacon, Rathalos, Miscreated Monster, Cold Heart, and Geo. We are absolutely going to do the super raids. As far as presets go, nothing on Deacon, nothing on Rathalos. We actually want to prioritize the shield for Miscreated Monster with the stun. Cold Heart, we're going to open with the A3 again because Geo's going to start with his A3. So we want to stagger their turn meter depletions. So we're just going to open with that, but we're not going to do it, or we are going to do it. We're just going to open with it and then proceed normally, prioritizing the Heartseeker. Geo, we are going to just open with the A3 there. So those are the presets. We need to do it now 5 times with super raids. This one should be 100%. I tweaked it a little bit. One thing that I actually had to work on, because the affinity is spirit, so they're going to target the force champions first. And whenever we were testing it out originally, after the re-gears and things like that, they would go after Geo first before Rathalos, and that is because of max HP. So all things equal, they're going to go for Affinity. After that, they go for the lowest HP champion unless they think they can kill somebody. So we actually had to make sure that Geo, so as I was leveling up the gear and stuff, I had to focus on HP. I had to make sure that Geo had more HP than Rathalos. And you see we've got it by about 300 HP. And that will now make sure that they target Rathalos first so that Geo can continue to control the turn meter as well as put up the HP burn and use his passive in order to damage the spider. So one thing that you want to pay attention to in regards to trying to figure out who the spiderlings target. We will just do a single run here while we are watching it the first time. So the runs here, like I said, this one should be 100% now that I've tweaked the builds and everything. Assuming we don't get too many resists or something like that. So, I mean, I guess maybe 99%. But just a lot of turn meter depletion. Make sure that HP burn goes on the main spider. And then there's just those spiderlings. So Rathalos can actually heal himself back up. So as long as he has full HP going into his turn and or a shield, which hopefully Miscreated Monster will take care of here in a second. There we go. So Rathalos can take a turn. He won't die. He can refill his HP with that lifesteal set. And we're good to go. If Rathalos dies, the reason why we did that HP balancing was so they went for Rathalos first. He is more just to try to kill the spiderlings, do a little raw damage. But he is also more than welcome to be the first to die. And that, again, with a new best time, 1:15. So, with the super battles on, you can see we obviously got the two accessories, and we have 2 counts towards the clear 10. So I actually like that update. That's a pretty cool update. I'm going to run this 4 more times, and we will be back in just a few minutes. Okay, so I really wish I would have known about that 2x a little earlier. I would have sacrificed energy for time. We've been going for over 2 hours now as far as this recording. Granted, the video is not going to be that long. Finally got all of the dungeons cleared on stage 20. We now need 100 million versus Nightmare. And that is on a single rotation of the clan boss. So unless I want to just spend 600 gems or 700 gems to do it right now, which we're not going to do, I'm going to wait for the morning after reset, and we're going to do it tomorrow and finish these. Now, this will be, in about 8 seconds here on the video, but it'll be a good solid 8.5 hours and a shower for me so that we can restart in the morning. So prepare for a wardrobe change and all that sort of good stuff. All right, so we are back. It is a new calendar day for me. However, it is still day 41 on the account. So we got the clan boss reset. We'll go ahead and collect our rewards from that and then be able to finish our final mission here of 100 million damage versus Nightmare clan boss and collect our Arbiter. So let's see what we got going on for rewards. So far, I've yet to get a Sacred. However, I've gotten a couple Legendary books. Also some Void Shards, things like that. That is garbage. We got an Epic book. We can still definitely use Epic books. And then a lot of nothing on this one. So nothing great out of the rewards. We are now against Force. which is actually a pretty good affinity. So let's see what we're going to do against this one. I do have another key here in 10 minutes, and then we will gem the rest of them so that way we can finish this immediately. So let me get out of the way. We'll speed up this run. We'll watch this one, and then I'll just complete the next ones. And then we will finish Arbiter, because this video is going to be an hour and a half long. So that was not a great showing. 16 million, I mean, it's not bad. It's still a 3 key. However, it is just under where we need to be in order to save myself a key on doing 100 million damage. I have to average about 16.6 million damage in order to keep it to 6 keys to get there. If not, it's going to cost me 7 keys and an extra 100 gems. But this is also the affinity that we put up 20 million for, so could just be a bad run. But I'm going to knock the rest of these out, and then we will see you guys again in a few minutes. All right, that should do it. So it turns out that Force is apparently not a great affinity for me anymore. It was averaging about 15 million for most of the keys, so it did take a full 7 extra 100 gems. Where are we at? There we go. 113 in the bag. Final mission for Arbiter. There is Arbiter down there. Let's take a quick screenshot of her. And then she is mine. Already starting some missions towards Ramontu. Look at that. However, let's just bask in the glory that is Arbiter. There she is. 41 days on the account. Not too shabby, if I don't say so myself. New Void Legendary, one that we can use. And she's absolutely going to help me out. The full team revive. I don't actually have a reviver yet. So she is going to come in super handy there. Also the turn meter boost, attack up. She's got decreasing the enemy's buffs on the A2. All sorts of stuff in the kit. We will absolutely be building her. She will be the next 6-star. And then just for fun, it is still running a Pogo Legendary on Ancients. I don't think we'll get it. And if we do get it, we won't be able to use them, but they will live in the vault. I did actually pull one Legendary so far on the account. A Truath, not a great one, but he is living in the vault till the end of the competition. In which case, or the end of the challenge, in which case we will build him for Faction Wars, and hopefully he will be of use. But let's pull these two. Let's see if we can't get anything good along with our Arbiter. First one is blue. Fencer, and our last one. These are just Ancients that we got through farming from last night. And another blue as expected in Arcanist. So that is it for this one, guys. It was a long one. I appreciate you hanging out with me if you made it this far. We'll catch you in the next one. Later.